Namaste and welcome to Satsang today. So, Satsang is for the realization of who we really are, the experiential realization. So, not just a belief in being an infinite being, the one being, the actual experience of it. And sometimes that is diving into direct inquiry, self-inquiry, or meditation. Sometimes it's dealing with the challenges we have in applying what we've seen to be true in the outer world, in our relationships, in our career and family, and all of those things. So, on that note, I'm going to read some questions that have been sent in for Satsang, and then I'll open it up here and see if there's questions here tonight or there are things that you want to share, and we'll see where we get to. Okay. So I have 3 questions here. The first one says, hello again, Helen. Been a while. Hope you have been well. I have, thank you. In doing the work, blockages are clearing and popping up less often. And when they do pop up, they are uncovered and dissolve faster. My fear of death is greatly diminished and I'm finding an internal calm. But too calm, ? There seems to be a slight indifference, a lack of drive. It seems the fears had a purpose, driving a certain zest in life. So now what? Seeing the mind's program running seems like a beginning step, but I have not experienced oneness, that I am an infinite being and the connection between everything. For that, I only have a basic logical understanding. So feels like you're too calm, indifferent to everything. And for me, I remember that fears also seem to have the purpose of driving my existence. So if I wasn't scared constantly, how would my life move? Why would my life move? That was the kind of question that came. And it is this switch over between the old way of functioning, being driven by fear and doubt and self-doubt and self-judgment, begins to diminish, and in its place, moving to the forefront, because it's always been there, is this self, the great infinite self, whether we realize it or not. That is what we are, and it begins to move to the forefront of our experience. So that comes with an equanimity, treating everything equal, every experience. Some are more pleasant than others, and some things that we feel in our body, some emotions are more pleasant than others. But there isn't this push-pull of ego where, or not, it's falling away at least, where I'm trying to really push against something I don't like and hold on to the good. And that can seem like a lack of drive, a lack of purpose, but what it really is a lack of being driven by fear, being motivated by self-doubt. And more sliding into the movement of the universe as a whole. There's a natural flow of how our lives want to go. And when the egoic motivations are dropping away from that, then we can begin to feel the natural way that life wants to move, which is always towards everything we want anyway. We've just been getting in our own way with these fears and self-doubt. So now what you've said, well, now going deeper into who you really are, because the self, the infinite self, when it's really been seen clearly, is going to really move the body. It'll move the body more than the egoic sense of self ever did. It will move the body very efficiently, very smoothly, very effortlessly, and you will achieve a lot more and have a life that perhaps you could have only ever dreamt of, full of peace and joy and abundance in all ways. This where you are now is a kind of halfway house. The old structure of the ego is starting to break down. The new, seemingly new at least, emergence of this infinite nature of yourself is coming to the forefront. And it's not driven by adrenaline, is it? It's just moving organically with life. And when something needs to get done, it will get done. Your body will do it. Now, it isn't the same way that our old egoic structure used to function. Our egoic structure was, I should do this, so I'm going to push myself to do it. And then I'm going to second guess how I did it and all the rest of it afterwards. The way the infinite self moves is different. It will sit quite quietly, and then all of a sudden there'll be this burst of activity. So you could be sat there, I think, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to have a really lazy, relaxed day. And then the body gets up and does a lot of activities really quickly and efficiently. And the other side of that, there's all this stuff I should be doing today, and the body just doesn't do it. And that we feel unnerved perhaps by the fact that we can't make our body move in the same way that we used to. But there's an inherent timing to everything that the body knows, because the body is connected to the universe. It is the universe. Our body is the universe. It is the self expressing itself in form. So it inherently knows when the best and easiest time to do something is. And that's not coming from our old egoic structure of I should do this now. I should do this now. And writing, if you've ever done any writing or anything, writing music, artwork, or anything creative at all, you'll know this already. You can sit down to do this. I've got some hours here to do some writing and nothing flows, because it's coming from that place inside where it's a should. I should do some. Or if I write this book and people like it, then I'll be more loved and more safe and I'll have more money. Whereas the self will move from joy. It wants to write or create out of joy. It wants to go to work because it wants to experience what it's like to be awake at work. It wants to have a family because it wants to experience what that's like, awake to who you really are and who these other beings really are. So it's a different way. So going deeper now into accelerating what's already happening, not forcing something, just saying, have I really seen the fullness of who I am? And the answer to that is always no. There's always more to see. Doesn't mean we're not deeply peaceful. But this kind of halfway house, it feels a little weird. We're still testing out how the self moves, still getting used to this different way of functioning, because it might be who we really are. But for a long time, we've moved from these fear-motivated places, as you said. And as you do that, and allow the natural rhythm of the body in your life to come back into the fullness, the forefront of your experience, you'll begin to experience that oneness in many ways. You'll begin to show up at places and meet people coincidentally. Of course, you've experienced this, but this will be your constant life experience over and over again. Just ending up where someone needs you without realizing how. Maybe they just need a kind word or a hug or just to be listened to. Maybe they just need your energy, your presence, and maybe they don't know that, and maybe you don't even know that. You just end up sitting there with them, and might never know why that had to happen, but it had to happen. So there's one of the ways the oneness will show up. A lot more of these coincidences, the meaning of the word coincidence is the coming together of two incidences perfectly. It's only it's only later that it's been given this other meaning of a chance, a chance encounter. When really, when you look at the deep meaning of it, it means it's been perfectly aligned by the whole universe. So, and if you want that to go even faster, even quicker, then I'd highly suggest diving into self-inquiry if you haven't already. And there's a whole playlist on the YouTube channel, Satsang with Helen Hamilton. There's a self-inquiry playlist on there that you can dive into, because it's just going to help this shift over who you thought you were as receding to the background and who you really are as coming to the forefront or becoming clearer and clearer. So that will give you a very direct experience of oneness, self-inquiry. But as you work through your patterns that are coming up as well, fears, insecurities, unworthiness, all those things that were part of the separate being. You're going to have an intuitive understanding anyway that you are everywhere, that the only thing you've ever experienced is yourself, over and over again. The second one, dear Helen, I am in excuse me, I'm in a new relationship and feeling shy, intimidated, and struggling with asserting myself, and also understanding some cultural differences, especially his controlling behavior. I'm naturally very giving, but expressing my own needs I've always found extremely difficult, particularly now around the strong, at times demanding male energy. Your teachings are invaluable and have helped me cope in other challenging situations. Are you able to advise me how I can remain centered, grounded, and loving while feeling so disempowered? In a short time, imbalances are already apparent. Right now, I feel nothing but despair at ever being able to open up. I'm on the verge of calling the whole thing off, and yet I believe there is potentially much learning between us. So much fear has come up. I've retreated into my separate self again because I don't feel safe enough, and never have done, to completely trust in an intimate relationship. My soul's thank you to you for all the spiritual treasures you share. Thank you. So in a relationship, intimate romantic relationship, it will be especially efficient, let's say, at bringing to light everything that we have still within us that is of that old fragments of ego. So feeling unsafe, you said here, imbalanced, despair, not being able to open up, you said. I don't know, but from what you've said here as well, I think that you already intuitively know that this may not be the person that you want to stay with for the rest of your life. That's just the feeling I get. There's a difference between someone being assertive and I think controlling. There's a difference in that. I don't know this person at all. I'm not judging them. I'm going on what you've written here. So I'd suggest really looking at what you actually want in a relationship. Sitting down and spending some time. And if you could have everything you wanted in a partner, everything, and, go to town on this, really write it down, get in touch with what you want. Do you want physical attraction, sexual attraction? Do you want to be on the pathway? Do you want to live with this person? Do you want them to be separate, in separate houses? Do you want the same interests? Do you want to laugh, have fun? Do you want them to get along with your family? What type of life do you want to have? Do you want them to like to travel? Be as specific as you can. Be as brave as you can with this. Because here you're having an experience in this relationship where you've got some of the things you like and some of the things you don't like. If you look at previous relationships, you probably see that pattern is continuing. So each experience is showing us what we like and what we don't like. And life is asking us to get clear on what we do want. Someone who respects you, who you can have a laugh with, a joke. Someone who values your growth, who doesn't want you to change, doesn't need you to change. These are just things I'm suggesting, but I would really get in touch with that, because then you'll know if this person is the right one or not. You will know. And at the same time, there are things you can learn from each other, absolutely. But I'd suggest really looking at, is this right for you? Is this really what you want? If you're feeling despair and fear, then karmic patterns are still playing out also. So I would suggest looking at the fear, What does fear say to you? Because for me, it was that I'm not safe, I'm in danger. And if we have that still inside, it's going to play out in our relationship, not feeling safe to open up and things like that. Despair, mine says it's despair over not being able to open your heart fully and let this person in. But maybe you can't open your heart fully and let this person in because there's despair still there. Maybe it's the other way around. And what does despair say to you? For me, when I really got in touch with that energy, it said there's just, there's no point. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to be happy. It was a very, very set attitude I was coming to the world with. And it very literally played out in my relationships, all my relationships. But so I think here that you haven't felt safe ever, never have done. You've put in capital letters to open up completely. And that sense of security and safety has to come from the inside. When you recognize who you really are, that comes with a sense of security anyway. And then you're going into a relationship, not needing them to make you feel safe or anything, not even needing that person to make you feel loved or appreciated. They enhance that sense of you're already feeling loved and safe. They might reflect that and add to it, but they can't really give it to you, especially if they're not feeling it themselves, if they're not feeling safe ultimately. So really spend some time on your own with a cuppa, maybe just writing down what you want. Have you ever really thought about it? Or are you just kind of manifesting on default by what you liked last time and then a little bit of what you didn't like? And then you'll shortcut a lot of time here and look at the contemplation videos and look at what fear says to you. On the introductory teachings, the free teachings on helenhamilton.org, there's a document on there, Emotions and Hidden Beliefs. Basically the stories that came up when I looked at my emotions that I was feeling, the stories behind them that were generating the emotion and playing out as the experience is a good place to start there as well. I'll try to remember to get a link put in the description of this on YouTube as well. So it's a bit of what you do want and a bit of what you don't want. And that'll only change if you get clear in yourself what you really want and what you really deserve. And maybe it is this person, maybe it isn't. But until you get clear on that and then contemplate these beliefs that are in the way of that manifesting, then it'll just carry on this, not exactly what I want to be experiencing. So I'll read this last one. If anybody would like to ask a question, feel free to raise your hand here on Zoom and I'll come to you after this. Dearest Helen, my work as a psychoanalyst has been enhanced by all I have learned from you. Many of my patients were already teetering blindly towards the path, as I had been, and now I'm able to offer much more guidance and support to them. This is wonderful. For myself, however, at this early point, I'm suffering hugely. I'm experiencing rejections and hurt in my personal life, and I've gone from being central to the large family my husband and I created to now being alone. The 4 children are now young adults, feeling a loveless world and spending time in the depths of despair. My spiritual work became a fiery passion once I found you, and I stopped seeking there and then. I have notes all through the house to remind me of presence and contemplation. I love this work so much. I am yet to experience actually being at one. I still feel as though there could be a separate being despite knowing there is not. I have not yet experienced bliss or peace, although I feel much relaxation and calm in my meditations. I listen to you from the moment I open my eyes in the morning and the last thing at night. You accompany me and feel like my only friend at the moment. I know not to try too hard, but would give anything for a sign from the higher self as encouragement. I find the karmic patterns are more fierce at present, and I can feel helpless in questioning them sometimes. It feels like I'm being asked to walk through this hell. It is familiar hell. It's a familiar hell. And I'd love this to be the last time. You had suggested I write down exactly what I want to find in a new partner. Something going on here tonight, isn't there? But I'm suspecting that deep down, I don't feel I deserve this. And perhaps that's why there's no change in that area. The only area I feel power and satisfaction is in my work with my patients. Love flows freely at work. At home, I feel so alone and sad. Encouragement from you would be wonderful, please. Many thanks for all you give us. So, as horrible as it is walking through that again, let's see if we can make this the last time. So, 4 children grown up, and I get that one totally. And what we find then is what we were getting from those beings has gone, and or is going, and we are looking, we feel that emptiness, not the emptiness, but emptiness inside of not being fulfilled. So what were you getting from being a mother, parent? What was that? Was it making you feel loved, needed, valued, accepted, safe? Maybe, I don't know. I'm just throwing out what came up for me when I did this work. You know, the empty nest thing that we have going on as parents. Suddenly there's a big hole in your life. And it will also impact your relationship too, your intimate relationship. What do you feel that you want or need from a romantic relationship? And yes, it'll be some of these karmic patterns too, but playing out, as you said, but most of all, it will be, now that your awakening is deepening, you're being asked to shift over how you're functioning in a relationship. Most human beings come to a relationship and it's really like a bargain going on between you unconsciously, isn't it? If you make me feel loved, I'll make you feel safe. You make me feel attractive, I'll make you feel special. And there's this thing going on that we call a relationship. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's never 100% reliable, is it? So at some point, someone's going to disappoint you in not making you feel that way. Much better to have that coming from the inside out. Especially now that you're realizing that there aren't any other beings. That this relationship is really a relationship of the one. And there's only one of you. And here is the oneness already reflecting back to you. So if you could write down, and you have, by the sound of it, already written that down, got clear about it, what you actually want, and you can imagine yourself having that relationship now, what would it make you feel if you had that person in your life, and if the kids were still at home, that you don't feel now? So when I asked myself that question, it was, well, I would feel safe, I would feel loved, I would feel passionate, I would feel purposeful, I would feel joy, and you know, the list went on. I'd feel appreciated, valued. It was quite a long list. So now you're being asked to allow those to come from the inside out, from the realization of who you are outwards, rather than what human beings do is try to get and pull in, and this swapping and bargaining thing that goes on between egos. So we have to identify what it is we're trying to get from a relationship and be really honest. But really, this person makes me feel safe and loved, perhaps valued, needed, wanted. And then, okay, why don't I think I can have that from myself? It's not going to mean that you don't care about a relationship at all. It's going to actually empower you to be in a relationship without coming with our ego's list of demands. You know, if we were all really honest about what we want, we'd all be wearing t-shirts going, please make me feel loved. Please make me feel safe. I really need to feel valued, and, you know, all of that. When that's coming from your sense of self-worth, is coming from your own self and security, then you can show up in this relationship already free and just being with that being. And there is nothing more attractive to another being than being with someone who isn't trying to get anything from you, also isn't trying to change you. I'm not just talking about romantic relationships here. I mean, of course, that's the focus of this question here, but this will be throughout all of your life, with your children and everything, with your family, with your boss at work, everything. Well, you sounds like you are your own boss, but so when you are with your clients and you're helping them, you're feeling full already, fulfilled, and that gushes outwards, and that area of your life is already changed over. And you feel purposeful and passionate, and it's flowing well. So looking at that, what do I need? And for most of us, it's really safety and to feel loved. Those are the main two. To feel appreciated, loved, valued, respected, all the same thing, really. And then asking, is that true that it's not already here? The very fact of seeking it from a relationship is kind of stating that it's not already here. And we're just habituated to do that. So flipping it around now, what do you want from a relationship? And then why do we feel it's not already here? Well, I don't feel safe. Okay, but can you feel safe if you're asserting that I need to get it from someone else, safety? That very act of searching for it in another being is a statement of the fact it's not here right now. And you're so powerful as the infinite self. If whatever you say isn't here, it will seem to be very, very absent. Most of us are convinced that we need peace and safety and all of those things. So that would be what I would do. Because the kind of relationship we really want has to come from already being fulfilled inside, where I'm feeling free, confident, safe. I feel like the essence of love. And then someone will be drawn into your life who is going to reflect that back to you, mirror it back to you. They don't need you to change either. They feel fulfilled already. And what you can experience together there is just amazing. So now, because the obsession with the spiritual work, now you're really being asked to embody this, to be this in a relationship. What does that mean? It means we have to switch over the way that we're functioning in a relationship. All of your relationships will go through this upgrade, and they'll be so much better because of that. So hope that helps, but please do write back in if you feel you need more help with that. Okay, so we'll go to Melanie when you're ready.
Yeah.
Hi
there. I'm doing the awareness meditation, but I'm a little confused. Like, I become aware that I'm into thoughts, and then it's like I kind of turn it around and I become aware of awareness. But to me, it's like there's still a separate me being aware of awareness or something. You know what I mean? Who's turning it around onto awareness? So I'm a little confused about that.
Can you find that separate being when you look? It seems like there's a me tuning into the awareness, right? It seems like sometimes I'm focused on my thoughts, sometimes I'm actually looking at the awareness. But the central character in that is a supposed separate me. So let's just actually look and see if we can find it right now.
I guess I feel kind of like it's my mind. It's my mind that was watching the thoughts, and then my mind turns it around into watching awareness. But that seems to be defeating why I'm doing the meditation.
So when you look at awareness, just see if you can tune into the awareness now. How are you recognizing awareness? Is it your mind?
No, not when I turn it around. I'm aware of awareness being, the space,
So I'm aware, you said. I'm aware. I am awareness.
I am aware.
I'm aware. We take it
Of
so much for granted. What I am is awareness. But let's
Uh,
prove it. Let's prove it. Look at that awareness again. You said, I'm aware of awareness. Can you actually find two awarenesses when you look? Like really search and see. Is there a my awareness looking at the awareness? Let's really look at that. Where does your awareness end and the awareness start?
I guess I thought maybe it was my mind was aware of the awareness. But
When you actually look, what do you find? Is there mind and awareness? Or my awareness and the awareness? There's someone recognizing awareness, or is there just awareness?
So then I guess it's just awareness was watching the thoughts. And then I'm just wondering how it turns around. Then all of a sudden awareness is just aware of itself.
Yeah. So awareness is like, as when it appears as a human being, it has this capacity called attention where it can focus on a thing. It kind of funnels itself into attention where it can look at an object, a thought. But then it remembers, oh, I can do this and look at myself. And then it goes back to looking at a thought, looking at itself.
Oh, that's really beautiful. Think of it that way.
So when you look again, let's just prove again, there isn't two awarenesses or anything, is there? There's just awareness. There's no separate being called Melanie finding awareness. When we really search our experience, there is only something that knows, something that's aware. It's such a well-believed thought, isn't it? That I'm here looking at the awareness. You know, I'm here and awareness is here. It really seems to be true, but we have to kind of look like this and really make sure, well, is that actually so?
I feel like I want to say, could you repeat that again? But I forget what it was that you said that I wanted you to repeat. But
It seems like we believe this idea that there's a me and awareness. And that's such a well-believed idea that it actually has a life of its own. We keep experiencing as if there is a someone here, a separate being. When we actually investigate, we don't find that separate being. We find only the infinite self, the infinite awareness.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So then when I'm doing this meditation, awareness is aware of the thoughts. And then it just opens itself up, and then it's aware of the openness.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has the capacity to focus in on a thing, or to focus in a kind of open way, to pay attention to no thing in particular, to the nothingness of awareness of itself. And it's just got so habituated to focusing on things that the central thing it focuses on is this supposed character called me, that is the central story character in our life, you know, the one with all the problems and karmic patterns and all of that. But it's not actually there when we look. We find only awareness.
Right. Yeah. Because I thought that I was aware of the thoughts, and then I turn it around and I'm aware of awareness. But I like that opening.
What you're just finding out is who that I is that says I'm aware. I'm aware. It's really the infinite awareness saying I'm aware. I'm here.
Oh. So it is the I am that is seeing the thoughts, and then the I am is aware of awareness, is aware of itself.
I am, awareness, consciousness, presence, they're all words for the same.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's just coming to realize, oh, it's so much nicer when I hang out with myself than thoughts and objects. It feels nicer in the body when I'm aware of the awareness than when I'm aware of thoughts. It just feels so nice.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Carol?
Hello, Helen.
Hi.
Thank you. I would like to ask you two questions. One is about self-inquiry, lesson 2, because when I go deeper in the lessons, I think before that I understand something, but when I go deeper, I say I am lost. Then because if I understand well, when you do the self-inquiry and you ask the question, you only keep the attention in the question, and only this attention in the question dissolve the fear or whatever you want, or the reason. What are you doing the self-inquiry? It's just to try to understand.
So it's just asking a question, isn't it? It's just asking, where am I? What am I? Who am I? Or whatever question we're asking. And the question is doing the work, because the question is stopping. While we're asking a question, we can't be believing other thoughts, any thoughts. So while we're asking a question openly, with curiosity, we'll feel free. Yeah, completely free. If we're asking a question to try to get somewhere, then we'll feel tension in the body. Yeah. So just effortlessly coming to a question. So imagining you're watching a football game, a tennis match, a movie. You're just watching what's playing out as you ask the question. That's your only work.
Okay, and I ask the question and I wait some seconds or something like that to see if something merge, or just ask the question and ask the question again.
But yeah, but not mechanically. With a little curiosity, yeah, a little curiosity. Let's do it now if you want to. Which question do you want to do?
The question is, I am doing about the challenge.
Yeah. So in our graduate program, we're doing a challenge about dissolving the doer. And I can't remember today's question. I
can check if you want.
What am I actually doing? Is it today?
Yes, with something more.
If there's no doer, can I fail or something?
Oh, if there's no doer, can I actually fail at anything? Thank you, Gillian. Thank you. Yeah. So if there's no doer, no separate doer, can I actually fail?
I lost you.
Yeah. So if
okay.
Yeah. If there's no separate doer, can I fail at anything? That's the question we're working with today, you know. So just asking that question and just seeing what happens. We're not trying to make anything happen. And you enjoy the question. If there's no separate doer, as we've been looking at, there's no separate being and there's no one doing anything. Can I actually fail at anything? So do you need an answer to this question?
the truth, from some time, I didn't wait for any answer or to solve something, or maybe yes, just I see that some feelings emerge.
How many human beings on this planet do you think ask that kind of question of themselves? What percentage? Do you think it's a very small or very large number of people that would ask such a question?
I think a very small percentage.
So if we are, as the Buddha said, if we are what we think, if we become what we think, then just asking the question is enough. And in self-inquiry, we're switching over from trying to get an answer to maybe I'll start to live as the answer. I'll feel more confident day by day. I'll feel a bit more peace day by day. I'll feel a little less stressed or a lot less stressed. I'll start to enjoy myself more. Because which would you rather have? Would you rather have that? Or would you rather have a momentary aha?
This is something that I am conscious now, that sometimes I want to have the control in something in my life, job, anything. Okay. Say, now I see Helen's teaching that you don't know anything, just do it. And we don't know. This is something that is starting to change in my life, but with a lot of fear, no?
Well, there'll be some fear for a while. It's okay. Yeah. It's self-inquiry, contemplation, meditation. It doesn't really matter what actually happens during the practice session when you're asking the question, when you're meditating. It doesn't matter. You're going to be living as the answer more and more. Your life will be an expression of the answer.
The question for me was more just because I thought it is so easy. I only need to ask the question. It doesn't matter what happened.
There it is, you see. Too simple. Mine says too simple. That can't possibly give me freedom.
Yeah.
Where's the hard work? Where's the struggle? Yeah.
Yes, because
how can I prove my worthiness if all I have to do is ask a question? We're looking for some hard work, aren't we?
Helen, most of the things in my life is with very, very, very hard work. Then I see
it's not going to work.
Something is wrong.
It's not going to work.
Yes.
You already are the infinite self. So switching into easier, simpler ways. Just holding the question in your awareness as you move about the day. That will do everything that you've been looking for. Just that.
Great. Thank you. And the last question, please. Can I ask you another? Is, for example, I need some things and I want some things, but I really need some things in my life. I need for me, for my family. How can I ask for this kind of things without feelings that I really need that?
Even
and to get this, and now with the karmic path, don't make these things more far, because I see now, for example, no, I need some things. I'm a little bit fear about that, and I see these things that I need bigger.
Let me just say something. 5 minutes a day asking a question. 5 minutes a day of asking a question with open curiosity will counteract the whole rest of your day of worrying and needing and struggling. So what you want will come anyway, even with all this worrying and doubting and fear going on. It will still come into your life. You don't have to get rid of those things to get what you want. You're just going to have a nicer time when you're not scared and doubting. Yeah. Asking a question, a self-inquiry question, is so powerful that it will permeate your whole existence and it will lift it to a completely higher level. That is already happening. You don't see it in yourself, but it is happening. You're not the most reliable person to tell you about you, are you? Because you're looking at yourself with this self-doubt.
Yes.
Yeah. Ask other people to tell you. Ask them to tell you if you're changing, right? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Love you. Anamika, when you're ready.
Yes.
Hi.
This was wonderful. That was really amazing. I would love to do a statement process if possible, but not for me, like for my son.
Okay.
His family.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, the statement process is something that we do to help shift how we feel. This is where we work on realizing our beliefs are going to show up as our experience. And so when we're looking to try to help someone in the outside world, the major thing we can do, obviously helping ourselves too, but is to shift how we feel. The statement process is simply making a statement that feels true. You start off with a statement that feels true and authentically where you are. So I'm really worried about my son or something. It's not got to be spiritual or anything. You start from where you're at. And then the only rules are the next statement has to feel slightly better than the previous one, and it has to feel true. And you can switch it to any subject at all that you want. So go ahead when you're ready and start with exactly how you feel about what's going on. Not what's happening to that being, but how you feel about what's happening to that. Because that's the only thing you can really work on yourself, isn't it?
I'm really worried about my son and his family.
Okay. So I'm going to feel that statement out in my body, how it feels in here. And I'm going to find a statement that feels slightly better and feels true. So when you hear my statement, listen to that and feel how it feels in your body. Yeah. So my statement is, I'm hopeful that something's going to happen as I do this statement process. So it feels slightly better than your statement. We're only looking for a tiny, tiny thing. You don't have to leap tall buildings. And as long as it feels true. So feeling out that statement, I feel hopeful that something might change here. Feeling what that feels like in your body. Seeing if you can find a slightly better feeling statement and it feels true. Take your time.
Oh, already what you said feels so much better. I'm really looking forward that my yes, my opening up is helping them too.
And that feels better and true. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. So I'm feeling your statement out and I want to say, it's so nice that in helping myself, I help them too.
Yes. That feels amazing. Wow. I'm really looking forward to diving deeper into my own well-being.
It feels very true, right? I can feel it.
Yes.
So as we're climbing up, it's a little easy. At first, it's hard to get going, but it's a little easier as you get back into higher energies. So I would like to say I'm quite proud of myself for opening up and asking for help.
Oh gosh, yes. And I'm really looking forward that maybe that can do the same for them.
I know as I feel freer and happier, I'm going to be more available for them.
I'm getting like a preview that when I know they are me, things will shift. Yeah.
So we're not trying to fix anything in statement process, but naturally things will become clearer as we feel better anyway, like
Yes.
this, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'll say it's so lovely to nurture myself and this other being too.
Yes.
How are you feeling now inside?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yes, really. There's so much more positive expectation. It's like, yeah.
Fireworks going up here, sorry. So let's see if you can go for one more statement each. Yeah. I'm just going to mute this while you do your statement.
Yes. I have the feeling loving myself more is bringing more love to my children and their families. Yeah.
Okay. I think we better leave it there with the fireworks going off here unexpectedly, or maybe they finished.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go for one more then. I want to say, sorry, could you repeat your last statement again, if you can remember it?
Yeah, that loving myself more is yeah, my children, I don't know what I said. It's like, I think it's bringing more love into my children and their families, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm recognizing the oneness that when I help myself, I'm helping them.
Wow.
So did really good there. The only two rules, the next statement feels slightly better and it has to feel true. If you follow those two rules, you can shift the subject as well. You can shift any subject around that you want. It could be that you want to, you find it hard to make a statement about that particular subject. There's a lot of negative emotion that feels better. You talk about the holiday you're going to have. You can make a statement about that or anything at all. So, yeah. Wonderful. Well done.
Thank you.
And sorry about the fireworks. Yeah.
No, it's not a problem. Can I ask just a little one, or it's more an affirmation? It's like after the Satsang we had this afternoon, I really went into being aware of being aware, and all of a sudden I saw starting when this body started to move, I said, oh, I'm seeing this body moving. I'm seeing this body going to the toilet, and it felt like a play. And it was like oh my God, this is so helpful to, when I'm alone, to speak like this, to do this.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, and it will just become obvious all the time. Everyone's body's just moving around. Everyone thinks they're doing everything, but really there's no separate beings. There's just bodies moving around in the awareness. That just becomes clearer and clearer.
Yeah.
And with that, a sense of detachment from, not disinterest, but just not so tangled up in the thoughts about everything that's going on. Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And thank you, Gillian, for the help there in finding the question, because I couldn't remember it. So wonderful. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the questions you sent in and your participation this evening as well, or whatever time it is where you are. Thank you. Namaste. Wonderful.